Welcome back to Indonesia Pavilion for COP28 Dubai. And for those who just joined, welcome. Hopefully can enjoy our session this morning. And it's time to celebrate the opening session by inviting our keynote speaker. She's a leader who holds a crucial role in implementing and formulating environmental policies and its management. Ms. Deputy Nani, it's an honor to have you here. Please be my guest. If you want to have a drink first, Ibu, please be my guest and please deliver a keynote. Thank you.
Very good morning, Honorable Bapak Pak Leo, Leonardus Herwindo, CEO of Indika Nature, distinguished speakers, guests, and participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to say thank you for the invitation and we can gather to this morning. Actually, morning session is not a good time, yeah, for for having the yes, especially also today is I think the fourth day, yeah. So it's already like in the last 3 days we have very tough program. So hope actually myself have a a little relaxed today, not in rush for the breakfast, but I think this is a very important topic, yeah. Then hopefully other colleague can come later soon. So I would like to share to you. The first, I think we would like to say that the government of Indonesia is promoting a national mangrove rehabilitation program. I think this is very important program. Then we have planting mangrove on the degraded land, preserving existing mangrove forests, and improving their function without destroying them. So it is a serious effort that those policies were enacted by the presidential decree in December 2020 to establish the Peatland and Mangrove Restoration Agency. So before was only Peatland Restoration Agency, but we add mangrove instead of peatland. That means mangrove is important as well as the peatland, especially for climate. And in that decree, our president gave instruction. The rehabilitation program, we should make it 600,000 hectares within the period of like 5 years of the period. So I think we understand here that this program is very ambitious and maybe the largest in the world. However, the government Indonesia also very open to have collaboration and to implement this policy. So we cannot make it only like unilaterally because we need pentahelix active participation and contribution from the various stakeholders and partnership. So in 2021, the coordinating minister for maritime affairs and investment, Excellency Bapak Luhut Binsar Panjaitan, give a direction to the private sectors that should contribute at least 100 hectares of the mangrove restoration. So against the background, the private sector in Indonesia can play its share in the contribution to the achievement of those targets set by the government through corporate social responsibility. So the private sector, such as, I think we have several, maybe increase more and more, such as Indika Group and also Citra Group and others, as well as the state-owned enterprises like Pertamina, also PLN, Pelindo, yeah, and others. We are welcome to contribute the way of the corporate social responsibility program that includes, of course, the community empowerment. So I'm grateful that in the last 3 years, since the mangrove rehabilitation target was set, we have planted at least or more than 265 million mangroves over Indonesia. So that means about 88,000 hectares, more or less, within 3 years. So this achievement is not only from the governments funding, but also from other stakeholder support, including also the private sector. So all part of the mangrove tree are capable of the absorbing carbon. I think this is why it's become important for the climate action. And the largest storage in mangrove is in sediments. I think all here we already see the mangrove, but the interesting things in Indonesia, we have more than 200 species, including associated species. So and different maybe with other country, yeah. So it's, we have big resources there. And about Indonesian mangrove is cover about 20% of the world of mangrove. So also the potential for the storing carbon can reach around 1.4 million tons of CO2 equivalent by 2030. So this large carbon storage capacity can help Indonesia to achieve national determined contribution or NDCs. Apart from that, carbon storage has also economic potential of up to 18 trillions in 2030. So the next, I think I would like to mention that is an important part of our discussion today, that the communities, related with the communities. Mangrove are an important common resource pool, therefore the conservation these resources is beneficial also for the people, for the community. Through the public and private initiative, the local community have achieved plantation and preservation of the mangrove area across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, so I would like to add here, ideally, the program should be comprehensive because it needs to cover the mangrove plantation as well as the maintenance and giving the benefit for the community. So the CSR program could also include initiative to train and involve local fishing communities to raise nurseries and care for the sampling during the learn session. So with the mangrove combining with the aquaculture, so we call it silvo fisheries, so we can see that the community empowerment could cover the whole spectrum, from also silvo fisheries, but also mangrove derivative products, as well as to ecotourism and blue carbon. So we have several success stories of the community empowerment in Indonesia. In several provinces, these communities can also develop other mangrove-based products, such as batik mangrove. I think we can use here, in Indonesia, we have many nice batik mangrove, So we also give as a present to head of states of the batik mangrove during the G20 in Bali last November. So we are proud of this because it's a good in environment, but also they have a good quality. Yeah, so then also I think beside that, there are other many products from the mangrove that can give the community economic benefit for them. So the government of Indonesia has been actively engaging the international community to establish partnership in the preservation of the mangrove. So ongoing bilateral cooperation between Indonesia and United Arab Emirates on the establishment of the International Mangrove Research Center in Bali, as is one of a good example. So I think this is important also because all the development program for the mangrove, it should be based on the science, based on research and also technology. So in this research center will cover all those topics. So also during the speech our President Joko Widodo yesterday in the event of the presidency event on the protecting nature for climate, lives and livelihood, our President Joko Widodo stated that due to the permanent moratorium on the forest clearing and rehabilitation of 3 million hectares of degraded land and 3 million hectares of peatland, so Indonesia's deforestation rate has decreased 75%. So this is the lowest in the last 20 years. I think this is very good achievement. I think we work together under the coordination and technical from the Ministry of the Environment and Forestry. So regarding the mangrove as well, if we notice from the latest national mangrove map, so we actually have improved our cover of the mangrove compared to the last 7 years, because the existing mangrove increased from 3 million something become 3 million 360 thousand hectares. So means this increase about 300,000 hectares. So it's a lot. And also the situation, the critical land for the mangrove is also less. So mean like all the effort we can see in the ground. So in this context, also we have the potential area that we can plant the mangrove. So therefore, we need a good research center, which is we can also make it the mangrove ecosystem improve, and then we can share or also exchange the best practices related to mangrove to other countries. And then I think the preservation and rehabilitation of the mangrove would definitely need support from the expert, as I mentioned before, and also academics here. So I'm happy to see one of the panelists is a professor from the University of Gajah Mada. Specifically, we need to collaborate between the academics as well. And I think the last point that I would like to mention, the government also indicates a network. Yeah, the network includes all the civil society, private sector, governance, which aim to support effort to protect, manage, and restore mangrove across sector and disciplines. So the biggest strength of the cooperation to restore and rehabilitate for our mangrove forest in Indonesia. So we are very happy that we encourage more to have contribution or participation actively from the all stakeholder, including the private sector, specifically related with the community empowerment program, and also in regard of the program on the CSR, and from the private and also from the state-owned enterprises. I think we have signed the MOU, yeah, to support our national program on the rehabilitation. And we hope from the government side, we hope that the contribution from the private sector can be also increased, because I think we can then make it faster to achieve our target. And we once again, I think we need to always like remember, mangrove is not only planting but also manage to make it sustain in terms of like to conserve, yeah, and also to get the benefit in economically for the community. So we should include community also to protect and to manage our mangrove ecosystem. So let us work together and take the future in our hand and make it the world we live, future that we borrow from our children and future generations. So thank you so much, and wish for the fruitful discussion for this morning with the important session. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Deputy, for the warm inviting to work together to collaborate. Thank you also for making the time this early morning to deliver a keynote. We are very lucky, I would say, that we have this first early morning before our neighbors get started with their discussions and having their own party. Because sometimes it's very difficult to listen to the discussions as the day goes by. Okay, without further delay, let's start. I will invite our beloved Miss Cynthia Dian Astuti. She's the Director of Impact Program, an initiative that believes that business and SDGs can go hand in hand. So, Mbak Cynthia, please take the lead. Over to you.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you Mbak Desmona for the opening MC and great speech from Ibu Nani Hendiarti to supporting us and to give an advice what we will do the collaboration with, about protecting mangrove restoration in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, firstly thank to God to give our healthy so we could meet together in this forum in good condition. In this session B13, as you know, as you saw in the slide, the B13 is protecting and rehabilitating mangrove with community empowerment. We will panel discussion with the title Community Involvement in Mangrove Ecosystem Rehabilitation, Lesson Learned in Indonesia. Already in here, our dear speakers, please come and sit down with us. And then I will introduce also all the speakers. Bapak Mr. Leonardus Herwindo is the CEO of Indika Nature, subsidiary of Indika Energy. Please have a seat, Pak Leo, which focuses in nature-based solutions, producing biomass, wood pellet, agroforestry, essential oils, and environmental services. He also holds position as Chief Human Capital Officer in Indika Energy with responsibility of managing and developing executive talents of Indika Energy Group. Graduated from University of Catholic Indonesia Atmajaya in 1997 in Mechanical Engineering and Master of Business Administration in Human Resources Management and Service from Gajah Mada University in 2004. And the second speaker is Bapak Todi M. Sugoto, is co-founder and commissioner of PT Triputra Agro Persada since 2008. Also, Pak Todi is chairperson of Watershed, Biosphere, and Mangrove Indonesian Chamber of Commerce in Industry. He also Director of PT Persada Capital Investama, Commissioner of PT Trinur Cakrawala, Commissioner of PT Pandu Alam Persada, President Commissioner of PT Sumber Energi Pangan, Deputy Chair of the Permanent Resilience Committee Pangan Kadin, and GAPKI Advisory Board. He's graduated from Worcester Polytechnic Institute in Mechanical Engineering. So the same with Pak Leo. And the third is Pak Sigit Sunarta, is the Dean of the Faculty of Forestry, University of Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta. Bapak Sigit Sunarta. Bapak Sigit Sunarta is received his PhD and master degree from Shimane University, Japan, and his forestry bachelor from Gadjah Mada University, and now he is the Dean of the Faculty of Forestry, University of Gadjah Mada. And our fourth speaker is Mr. Alejandro Litovsky. He's a founder and CEO of Earth Security, from established in 2011, and CEO of also with this Earth Security, a research company creating the data analysis, strategic thinking, and catalytic initiative to connect global finance with nature capital at scale. Mr. Alejandro has received multiple awards, including the London School of Economics, Hobhouse Memorial Prize for Highest Academic Achievement, the BMW Foundation Global Leaders Award, and was named UBS Global Visionary in 2022, and for his work on natural capital and global investment. Thank you for all the speakers in here, and I would please Mr. Leonardus Herwindo to share as a first speaker to share the impact program from Indika Nature to the people and environmental, strengthen social community and conservation for mangrove sustainability. Have a seat, Pak. Have a seat, please. Thank you.
Selamat pagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sehat untuk kita semua. Thank you, especially distinguished keynote speaker Ibu Nani. Thank you for delivering the speech and insightful content regarding the mangrove initiative from Indonesian government. My distinguished panelists, Pak Todi, Pak Sigit, Alejandro, also the moderator Cynthia. So good morning to every one of you here. So before I start, I would like to also thank you, Bu Nani, for the introduction regarding the data, the importance of the mangrove initiative in Indonesia. So basically, if we look at in the world situation at this moment, especially in ASEAN, we understand that I think ASEAN is contributing about 8% of the global emission within the world. And unfortunately, 75% of the emission is caused by agriculture, agroforestry, forestry, and also the land use, besides the electricity, heat, and also the transport industry. So this is a very challenging for all of us here to discuss and to come up with some strategic initiative how to overcome these issues, especially in Indonesia. And especially for this forestry and land use in Indonesia, I think Indonesia has a significant role to address this issue, to contribute to the global warming in the world, because I think we have so many what we call tropical land forests, especially the mangrove. As Ibu Nani mentioned, we have the largest mangrove location and concession in the world. And Indonesia is also very important because we are the center of biodiversity, as well as we are called and known as to become the lung of the earth. So this is not an easy job, an easy task for all of us in Indonesia to to contribute to this world initiative at this moment. With that, as also Bu Nani mentioned, this is need a collaboration also from private sectors. So Indika Energy at this point in time, we are committed to diversify our business from coal sectors to non-coal sectors. And also we are committed to declare and proclaim that we are trying to achieve the net zero emission by 2050 or even earlier. And by setting the target to get the balance between the revenue and between coal and non-coal sectors. We are investing in a new business called nature-based solution, the Indika Nature, the one that I'm working with at this moment, as well as the other businesses in the low carbon technology like EV, solar panel, renewable energy, and so on. So on top of that, Indika Energy also had a specific KPI related to the ESG initiative. On top of the financial perspective, of course, profit, EBITDA, and so on, but ESG is not less important compared to this financial result. So by this chance, I would like to share with you what is happening and what we are working on, how to mitigate the climate change as well as to protect the world from global emission. Next, please. So why we choose mangrove? Because mangrove, we understand mangrove has incredibly effective carbon sink compared to the tropical rainforest. And again, this is one of the major assets that Indonesia has, having the largest mangrove concession in the world. And unfortunately, most of the concession are not well managed, and also some of them are being lost because of several factors. So this is a very serious attention that we need to do to protect the mangrove in Indonesia. So in this case, Indika Energy has committed in mangrove since I think 2010, and we've been planting more than 110,000 mangrove across Indonesia, especially in the area that we are operating. Of course, this is very small compared to what Bu Nani mentioned earlier, if the company, the private and public sectors, as well as the government working together, right? 110,000 maybe is around 10 hectares only within 10 years or even 13 years. And therefore, the collaboration among us is very important. But mangrove itself is not the main objective for us. The main objective is how we empower, how we working together, and how we collaborate with the local community so they can be more aware and they can get the buy-in to manage and to restore the mangrove in their own location. So by having this initiative, by having this commitment, then this initiative can run well in the future. So having said that, in 2023, Indika Energy launched a program called Impact, Indika Energy Mangrove in Action, which is led by Ibu Cynthia as a project manager with Marun as our implementing partner. We are doing this initiative in Pasir district in East Kalimantan, which is where the biggest operation that Indika Energy has at this moment, which is Kideco as a coal mining company and Indika Nature as a forestry and land use business. This impact program, again, this is targeting the community. We are targeting local empowerment. So we are working together with the community surrounding the operation area that we are working, so we can build and we can restore the mangrove within the location. Of course, again, we cannot work alone. So if you look at the logo, it's collaboration among Indika Energy, among the local government, Pasir government, as well as the Ministry of KLHK and also the central government in Indonesia. So this is very important collaboration, so we do hope that this collective effort can contribute to protection and rehabilitation of mangrove. Next. This is the result on the target that we been put in the impact program. So the target for this program is going to be for the next 3 years. So from 2023 up to 2025. We do hope that this can be long-lasting and sustainable initiative, which is continued by the other also public and private sectors. We target to have 250 hectares, which is around 275,000 mangrove to be planted in the area. And by the next 3 years, we expect to have around 85,000 ton equivalent CO2, and we cover the 4 villages in our operation area. We choose the type of mangrove that really resilient and dominating and suitable within the operation in location, because it requires suitability and it also requires a specific requirement of mangrove for them to be able to grow sustainable, right? Because there are issues from the environment like high tide and then salinity and so on. But if you look at the numbers from March 2023 up to now, we have been successfully only planting around 24 hectares. It is less than 10% of our target. Because there are some challenges that we have to face, both from environmental perspective as well as from regulation perspective. The long drought, the high tides is the challenges for us, for the people to keep planting the mangrove in the location. As well, the planting area, cagar alam, and the other area which we need specific license to be able to plant it. So it requires collaboration from among the parties to do this project successfully. Next, please. So if you look at this location, the majority or the most source of income of the people are doing fishing and doing shrimp and crab. So we do this initiative, again, not only planting mangrove, but to empower the people there so they can have more sustainable fishing activities in the future. Because this project, if it is successfully implemented, it will impact around 8,500 people in those 4 villages. So we believe that this project can also improve their livelihood, can improve their source of income as an additional alternative as renewable energy using this mangrove, the plant, the stem, the soil, and so on. We continuously this initiative at this moment. So I had a chance to meet one of the head of the villages during some occasion. I think they admit that the abrasion, the erosion are happening in their area. Therefore, they are very supportive in this program to plant mangrove. So he influenced all the people to keep on supporting this initiative so they can start stop or even mitigate the abrasion and erosion within the area. Next. So in the long term, we do hope that this, again, collaboration can do long last and more specific, tangible implementation from across the parties, again, from the government, public, private, as well as the communities. And in this COP28, also we invite all of you here, wherever you are, in whichever organization you are working with, to start collaborating with us, with your own government, to start the implementation of this mangrove initiative, especially by empowering the local communities in the surrounding of the area. Because I believe together we can create a sustainable future. We can leave a green legacy for our next generation, where we can create harmony between the people and the nature. We can live in good situation and harmony, living forever. So to end my presentation, I would like to share with you the video that we have been doing so far in the Pasir district, how we plant mangrove, and what are the challenges that we face in the field of area. Thank you. Thank you, terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak Leo, for the great speech. And the second, Pak Todi M. Sugoto for opportunities and challenges in mangrove program for the green business future in Kadin, Indonesia. Thank you, Pak.
Ladies and gentlemen, honorable speakers, and esteemed participants of this forum, good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank you for the organizer for having me here. My name is Todi Sugoto. I'm here to represent Indonesian Chambers of Commerce in the sector of environment and forestry sector. You may have heard Pak Leo already mentioned about his project. That's a typical project, mangrove project in Indonesia. And I would like to share the general picture of the opportunity and challenges in mangrove program as a green business future. Let me begin just by highlighting why mangrove are so important without to go any detail. Next. Mangrove forest is a natural infrastructure to help stabilize coastal ecosystem and to reduce coastal erosion. Mangrove's root system also acts as natural filters for water pollutant, improving water quality from streams and rivers to the oceans. Mangrove forest also captures and stores a large amount of CO2, just like any other forests. And it also provides a wide array of wildlife habitats, and therefore it makes an excellent spot for people who want to experience the natural beauty of mangrove forests. As mentioned by Ibu Nani and Pak Leo just before, Indonesia is the largest mangrove area in the world. It covers more than 3 million hectares, or 1/5 of the world's mangrove area. The mangrove forest is only 2% of total forest area. Next slide, please. However, it contributes 10% of total carbon dioxide, or CO2. It can store CO2 up to 3.14 billion tons. This is huge, ladies and gentlemen. This is equivalent to the greenhouse gas emitted by 2.5 billion vehicles in a year. And last, 40 out of 54 species mangrove, making Indonesia the most diversified mangrove forest in the world. Next. Oh, before this slide. Okay. In this picture, it shows that mangroves spread over the Indonesian coastline. It spanned over 100,000 kilometers of coastline. Dense mangrove forests occupy most of the area and located most of them in and North and East Kalimantan. However, we understand that some of the mangrove forests are being degraded. Some of coastal area mangrove converted into agriculture purposes and other real estate development. This is the major threat that we have to cope. So we have to protect the existing forests as well as to restore the one that suffered the degradation. Let me now turn into the opportunities and challenges. Next, please. Ladies and gentlemen, here I present 5 potential commercial opportunities. First, the prospect of carbon credit. As I mentioned before, mangrove already provide natural ecosystem services in the world. These services are CO2 captures, coastal erosion protection, and biodiversity support. With all this function, mangrove forests can be readily developed into a potential market carbon trading. Second is the business involving in sustainable fisheries. Because mangroves serve as a breeding ground for many marine species, such as fish, shrimps, crabs, and many more. The third opportunity is ecotourism. As mentioned by Ibu Nani before, the tourism in Indonesia the revenue is about 3 billion US dollars. So there is a huge potential of ecotourism, and we can imagine different types of ecotourism, such as kayaking or paddleboarding or any other activities around mangrove forests. The fourth opportunity relates to research and development. For example, the good example would be to create and commercialize the innovative solution to increase production for agriculture product using technology. We can increase the production of shrimp, fish, based on research and development. Lastly, if we need the aspect of sustainability in the green business, you must engage the participation of the local community, improving their livelihood. I believe in return, the community will protect your mangrove ecosystem. The challenges. This is the 5 challenges that we have. We have illegal logging, as I mentioned before. Some of the area, the mangrove forest area, already converted into other agriculture purposes and real estate. So to combat this threat, the key is to have an effective law enforcement for mangrove conservation. Another challenge, lack of infrastructure, because mangrove forest sits in a remote area, so it's very difficult to access it And in many mangrove projects, we don't have adequate road infrastructure. That's why we need the road infrastructure. The third challenge is a conflict with the local community when the new venture enter a remote rural community. So the proper impact assessment has to be made. The fourth one, since many mangrove rely on grants and donation, we have the challenge for financing. The continuity of the program become a concern. However, green business need to ensure financial sustainability and profitability, while also balancing the need of achieving conservation goal. Lastly, the impact of climate change. This is the ever-present challenge. In short, commitment to balance business interests with the needs for coastal community development can be a complex effort. Next, okay, this one. The previous one, sorry. Before this, okay. The role of the Indonesian Chambers of Commerce of Industry or KADIN. Now let me share what at KADIN we trying to do to support mangrove conservation and regeneration. KADIN, before this, yeah. KADIN has a role in encouraging multi-party involvement to play an active role in mangrove restoration. The restoration program is facilitated under KADIN Regenerative Forest Business Subhub. The program involves multi-product business integration to increase the value of the role of the forestry business. With this program, KADIN calls for international collaboration of mangrove forest regeneration. Next, KADIN initiative. KADIN has various initiatives. The mangrove forest in its mangrove forest agenda, they comprise of this list of five. This is the list. And also we actively conduct FDG dialogues and seminars and create collaboration platform to bring together parties from every stakeholders. And we carry out many field activities to show high commitment of the private sector to mangrove restoration. Next. KADIN has adopted a multi-stakeholder model business, what we call inclusive closed-loop model. This puts the coastal community at the front, at the center of ecosystem with various stakeholders and providing the access to the community. This access ranges to knowledge, agri-input, technology, finance, and typically coordinated by the off-takers and service industries. Next. Okay, sorry. Indonesia would like to be the inspiration of the world with its conservation program. The commitment comes from Pak Presiden Jokowi itself. As mentioned by Ibu Nani, at the beginning of the year, government already have two programs. One with in Tahura, Bali, it covers about 1,000 hectares, and second with the help from World Bank, We also have government Indonesia have project to rehabilitate 600,000 hectares by 2024 in 4 provinces. So in closing, I want to convey this message. There are significant opportunities for green business around the mangrove forest area. However, for the business has to be truly sustainable among stakeholders, and collaboration and innovation will be essential in addressing these challenges. We know how the world will be much better off through the conservation and sustainable use of mangrove. So let me join Kadin in calling for international collaboration to reach this goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Todi. The third speaker, Bapak Sigit Sunarta, weighing the economic value of mangrove forest, is it worth rehabilitation? Thank you, Pak.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Cynthia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, distinguished speakers, guests, ladies and gentlemen. To save the time, I will read my presentation, and operator maybe will manage the slide. The mangrove ecosystem holds both economic and ecological significance by providing essential environment goods and services. It is a role is crucial for promoting well-being, ensuring food security, offering coastal protection, and enhancing biodiversity richness, as Bu Nani stated before. In the period of 1996 to 2010, there has been a loss around 50% of mangrove forests in Southeast Asia, of which 46.7% of the loss was caused by human activities, especially the conversion of mangrove forests into ponds and agriculture, as well as logging activities. However, preserving the existence of mangrove forests is essential for a variety of reasons. The first, carbon roles. Mangrove forests play a vital element in global role, effectively storing and absorbing carbon. In addition to the living biomass, mangrove soil contains substantial carbon deposits that have accumulated over 1,000 years. The second one, fisheries. Nearshore fisheries within mangrove area are essential for local communities. Large-scale fisheries, such as commercial fishing and offshore shrimp farming, heavily rely on mangrove as breeding and nursery ground for various species. The third, timber and firewood. As we know that mangrove provide valuable timber and high quality of firewood. In some countries, this resource has been harvested sustainably for over than 100 years for forestry program. And the fourth, coastal protection. We know that mangroves serve a natural coastal defense, effectively reducing erosion, mitigation wave impact, and preventing seawater intrusion onto the land. Ladies and gentlemen, the economic valuation of goods and services derived from the mangrove ecosystem strongly advocates for effective mangrove management. The increasing body of research on economic valuation, including benefits such as fisheries, consistently demonstrate the substantial economic and advantages of preserving mangrove. When presenting the full spectrum of value associated with ecosystem goods and services, it becomes compelling argument for endeavor to restore and sustain the quality of mangrove ecosystem. Despite a decline in the rate of loss, the rapid degradation or loss of mangrove ecosystem persists in many regions. While the rate of loss has slowed, mangrove degradation still outpaces the overall loss of global forests by 3 to 5 times. Some countries have experienced loss exceeding 40% of their mangrove area over 20 years period. Globally, aquaculture has emerged as primary driver for mangrove conservation, followed by coastal development and agricultural expansion. Ladies and gentlemen, the decrease in mangrove forests in Indonesia over the last 2 decades is estimated to be around 4.3%, which is the 60% of the main cause attributed by human factor. The corrective measure from the government of Republic of Indonesia through peat and mangrove restoration agency and mangrove rehabilitation effort with a target 600,000 hectares offer the possibility of reversing the loss pattern due to mangrove ecosystem loss. While providing significant benefit to coastal region. The economic valuation study of mangrove rehabilitation yield that already done by our team, finding some information. The economic efficiency criteria for mangrove rehabilitation result, that's mean in average for 5 locations, net present value of 108 million Indonesian rupiah per hectare, PCR 1.72, and the IRR of 10.27%. Based on the criteria, mangrove rehabilitation is deemed economically feasible as it provides NPV more than 0, PCR more than 1, and ARR more than OCC. The simulation is in 30 years analysis period. Considering the basic assumption of this study based on the potential value of benefit from successful mangrove rehabilitation, it must be ensured that the efforts are made to ensure successful rehabilitation with a wide scope of planting maintained in the first and second year. Based on the result of the study 2, the economic value of the total benefit of the mangrove ecosystem covered in this study include the provision of honey, capture fisheries, preventing of abrasion, preventing of intrusion, and carbon storage, which is quite large, namely in value range of 20 million Indonesian rupiah per hectare up to 44 million rupiah per hectare per year, which while rehabilitation costs include land value during 3 years analysis, cycle will reach more than 58 million Indonesian rupiah. So effort to protect the mangrove ecosystem are currently land-based use such as wood harvesting and conversion of mangrove area for other use are still most rational choice. The preferred rehabilitation scenario in the region with significant community engagement is the one involving 60% mangrove rehabilitation and 20% silvophishery. This choice is based on the rationale that this scenario yield the highest ARR compared to the alternative scenario, namely 50% mangrove and silvophishery and 50% mangrove and 80% mangrove and 20% silvophishery. Ladies and gentlemen, This is some necessary policy implication include the first, the need for strong commitment in the form of political and budgetary measure in implementing mangrove rehabilitation, effort to ensure its success, and sustainable protection of existing mangrove ecosystem. The second, coordination and synergy between minister and local government in mangrove rehabilitation and protection effort, utilizing the economic cost-benefit study of mangrove as basis for argumentation. And the last but not the least, preparation of institutional mechanism for acceleration and regulation of fiscal flow from potential carbon storage value transformation into tangible value, reaching the local communities as an incentive. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Pak Sigit. The fourth speaker, Mr. Alejandro Litowski. Thank you.
Hello. Can you hear me? Yeah. Could we put up some slides? Thank you. So, yeah, welcome everyone. My name is Alejandro Litowski. I'm the CEO of Earth Security. We are a sustainable finance company, and our mission is to accelerate the pace of investment into nature-based solutions worldwide. We've been working on mangroves for a couple of years in mangrove finance. We're very active working in Indonesia, driving a range of investments already, and very happy to be collaborating with Kadin and partners here going forward. Next slide, please. I'll be quite quick. So we've heard about the value of mangroves. We've heard about amazing projects happening on the ground, still sort of few and far in between. And the key question that I'm concerned about and we're concerned about collectively is how do we speed up and scale the investment into a bigger pipeline of projects. And there's basically three barriers for scaling up. And the first is the knowledge of where is the pipeline of opportunities that Toddy was referring to. And I'll talk a little bit about that. The second is the financing mechanism that is able to then invest in a pipeline of investable projects at scale. And the third is a sort of collaboration platform that Kadin is proposing, and we're very happy to be part of, in order to scale up those opportunities. And I want to take those three in tandem. Next one. In terms of knowledge, 3 years ago, we mapped the entire global mangrove ecosystem and identified 40 regions, provinces in the world that are responsible for, that are holding over 70% of the entire remaining mangrove ecosystem. Now, next click. 12 of those 40 are based in Indonesia. Next one. And a range of provinces in Indonesia which overlap quite nicely with many of the government target areas really give us a blueprint of how to think about the scalability of investment. Now, following a little bit, building on Tori's point on opportunities, is how do we then translate those areas of opportunities into actual investment opportunities? Next slide. And so what we've done is we've already analyzed over 200 projects, most of them in Indonesia, and identified a range of business models that provide opportunities for investing in an economy locally, right? Creating revenues, creating jobs, creating longer-term development models that are in balance with nature. And I put that arrow at the top because, you know, not all of those models are exclusively commercial, and we need a more blended approach, you know, and you'll see at one end of the spectrum, there are many things that are going to gravitate toward more grant funding from foundations, from companies through the CSR programs, and a little bit of commercial blend, all the way to, you know, the other side of the spectrum where we do see a more commercial set of opportunities. Next click. And many of these archetypes, which are actual investment models that we are currently investing in, do offer the opportunity to blend that capital in a combination of grants, equity, and and debt, right? And different companies are going to provide different templates, and it's been quite interesting to experience that in practice, specifically in Indonesia. What we're doing with this pipeline and the range of transactions that we're driving in Indonesia at the moment is over the next quarter going towards the launch of what we call the M40 fund, in order to basically move towards the investability into those 200, 300 or so projects that we already have mapped, and there are many, many others, and so this is a live process which we will continue to do with partners. But, you know, while we drive this agenda, and it is about investment, and it's, you know, I'm quite excited to see international investors sort of starting to engage with Indonesian-based companies, SMEs, local organizations, cooperatives, mid-cap companies, you know, that are committing to this agenda. There's a real need for collaboration in order to scale. And so if you click one more. Why is it that we need collaboration to scale? And, you know, take the Mahakam Delta, and this is technology. We're starting to apply some satellite technology in order to identify some of these pathways to scale. We've talked a lot about, and many of the speakers have talked about, mangrove shrimp farming as one of the biggest opportunities for Indonesia, no doubt. Now, how do we move from a range of, we are already investing in mangrove shrimp companies at a variety of different stages. It's a really interesting model. Now, how do we scale it up to its full potential? So this is what we've done with Mahakam Delta in East Kalimantan. And what you see in red is we are able to pinpoint over 1,000 abandoned ponds, right? So we know where they are. Now, the question is, if we know what the business models are, how do we go from targeted investments to a real landscape approach where we can replicate and scale those investments into opportunities that we can already identify? And this is where collaboration is absolutely fundamental. There is no one single organization that can do that. There is no even one single company that can grow to do that in the scales of time that we need. And I think this is a very powerful image to think about why collaboration is needed. And this is why I'm so happy to be collaborating, you know, with CADIN and partners in taking many of these things to scale. So last one, please. So what is our commitment? First is to continue to develop an actual pipeline. This is very important to take many of the presentations. We know what the opportunities are. We know how valuable mangroves are and how valuable they are to Indonesia. Now, what we are trying to do here is to turn that into investable opportunities. And, you know, 200 and counting, they're out there. And so as we continue to do that, we want to continue to build these channels and collaborations to accelerate that. There's, of course, a massive opportunity to bring companies in different locations to expose them to that pipeline in terms of how they can collaborate and get involved very practically, you know, with projects that are within their sphere of operations. The second is that as we launch the M40 fund, to mobilize both private and public, mostly international capital, but also working with a range of companies and philanthropists in Indonesia, there's a great opportunity then to try to pull together this sense of where are these priority areas, and as we construct some of these scaling up blueprints, then, you know, we can match that with the finance. I think that's the missing bit that is needed. And then finally, we're so committed to collaborating with key stakeholders, and super grateful to be here with all of you today. Really thankful for our partnership and how we're growing this partnership with CADIN, and really looking forward to continue to work together to scale and make all of these opportunities a reality. And I think it is within our power to do it. So very much looking forward to turning all of this into action. Thank you.
Thank you for all speakers. It was a great speech and great presentation for today. And thank you very much, and give applause for all speakers. And yeah, here we are for the questions. I would like to ask the questions to all speakers. First, Pak Leonardus Herwindo, from the perspective of corporation, that we know Indika Energy has strong commitment to net zero to 2050. Could you share a lesson a lesson learned, what the Indika Energy does in mangrove protection, and how Indika connecting the social security with mangrove rehabilitation, and how collective action contributes to positive mangrove and economic outcomes. Thank you, Pak.
Thank you. Susah pertanyaan. Okay. Okay, so I think Indika Energy also committed since 2010 that we are trying to build and involve in this mangrove restoration across Indonesia, right? It's not about planting mangrove, but it's about collaboration with the community. So the challenges is how to educate and create the awareness for the local community to make sure they are understand the benefit of the asset that they have. Actually, the assets is belong to them. The land is belongs to them. So if we can work together to restore this mangrove, definitely the benefit will go for for them as well. So one of the strategy is to build what we call kooperasi. So we can work together with them. They can be part of the kooperasi, and then starting the business to buy seed and then plant the seed, monitor and manage all the growth of the mangrove. Then I think this is a quite successful method, since in the Cirebon what we do in mangrove is we successfully managed to build ecotourism in mangrove, so it's becoming the source of income for the employees, the what you call it, the local community in that area. So I think that's I can share with you, working together through the kooperasi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pak Leo, for the. I think the cooperation is one for exit strategy also, become one strategic exit strategy, and it belongs to community in there. Thank you, Pak. To Mr. Todi, yeah. From the perspective of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, why the mangrove ecosystem is very important for the green future business, from the perspective of the business association, and how the business association support the mangrove rehabilitation management. Thank you, Pak.
Can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
Okay. Why the mangrove ecosystem is very important for the green future business from the perspective of the business association, and how the business association support the mangrove rehabilitation management. Thank you.
Okay, so you have two questions. First one, why the mangrove ecosystem is important. So because mangrove ecosystem is very effective in fighting the climate change. Like I mentioned before, with only 2% of mangrove compared to the total land forest area, but it can contribute 10% of the total carbon capture. That's the first question.
Okay.
The second question,
Okay.
Kadin has a program to support the mangrove rehabilitation. It is under the management of Kadin Regenerative Forest Business Hub. The program consists of various initiatives aimed to supporting mangrove restoration.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Todi, for the answers. I better sit, yeah, because I always rise now. Okay. Pak Sigit Sunarta, after we saw your presentation, my question is for you, what is the connecting of the economic impact from the rehabilitation mangrove based on community, and how to develop a mangrove rehabilitation program policy that is participatory and increases community income? Thank you, Pak.
Sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Cynthia. Actually, I want to remind all of us that the rehabilitation mangrove is like to restore the lost income by community income. I mean, term of business opportunity. Actually, with rehabilitation, we can take some opportunity, yeah, to make business in this location, especially small scale. Yeah, small, industry, something like that. And the second one, actually, we can introduce technology to use not only for some part of mangrove to be something like a chemical, something like that. Also, if you can, you see that we can use mangrove to be dye, and also for batik mangrove, something like that. So I really interesting to develop NTFP in mangrove area. Without cutting, we can still use the potency of NTFP. Yeah, this is the important thing, and we can was that something like us to the community to work together in this program, something like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Sigit. And the last question to Mr. Alejandro Litovsky, as our last speaker in this forum. What are the major constraints to realizing those opportunities? And what Earth Security can do for scaling up the initiative that you already mentioned in the slide presentation? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Cynthia. Well, I think some of the constraints is that the capital and investment is just not properly connected to some of the opportunities. And so what we are seeing quite in practice, as we've been investing in a series of projects, companies driving many of the solutions, is that we're starting to build a bit of a template or an archetype, right? Of how do you fund, some of the models that we've talked about. And working that out, I think, is one of the keys to the scalability. The second is building a pipeline very systematically. And so, projects you may know of, do let us know, because we're doing that, very systematically, including with a team based in Jakarta, which I think is another sort of key opportunity. But I think ultimately the real opportunity to scale up comes when we can connect the interest of a range of economic actors and companies. And here I think Indika is a really good example to a broader regional vision of what are some of these pathways to scale. And what we're doing by January is we're going to be releasing a study of all of the 12 provinces of Indonesia we're focusing on, trying to identify many of these scalability pathways so that in collaboration with Karen, we can align many of the companies, provide a sense of what are the opportunities, and then support that with international investment as well.
Okay, thank you for all speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite maybe one or two questions from the audience. I think it's already 5 minutes more our time. So if there's one question from the audience, please raise hand and give your short introduction. Thank you. Oh, two. Thank you. Pak Yoga, is there okay? Two questions? Okay. One question. Okay. Which one? Okay. Miss, sorry. Yes.
Thank you so so much, and have also been working with the Mangrove Breakthrough recently, which some of you may be familiar with. Thank you so much, all. It was very insightful and very interesting. And we were just reflecting, actually, what I didn't hear very much from this panel was discussion around blue carbon and the carbon market. That's very refreshing, actually, because I think sometimes people are too focused on carbon as the unlock to get finance into mangroves. But I just wanted to hear reflections from all of you on, one, you know, the kind of maturity of the carbon market as it relates to mangroves in Indonesia, and two, what you see its role as, particularly in relation to some of these more community and livelihood-oriented business models. Thank you.
Paleo or? Okay, Mr. Alejandro.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Jennifer. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, well, look, great question. I think there's a little bit of complexity around the blue carbon agenda in Indonesia that rightly so, similarly what happened with palm oil many years ago, and I think other countries should copy Indonesia in that sense, to really take their time to work out how can you really build a blue carbon economy that is in the interest of the country long term. So I really, quite applaud the time that Indonesia is taking to work that out, which means that, this is going to evolve, but maybe at a slightly different pace, which is really good. We can see all over the world examples where that can go wrong, and I think Indonesia is doing it in the right way. Our work with blue carbon in other countries, which is very active, also on mangroves, shows that the revenues from blue carbon at the current price rarely help projects break even. So it's not a silver bullet from an economic perspective. And we have a lot of examples of projects that are being set up to do blue carbon and then end up realizing they can't really cover the costs, right? Because the blue carbon price is really too low in a way. And so, I think regulatory landscape aside, I think blue carbon will play a role, but it definitely shouldn't be a bit of a silver bullet, right? And everything we've talked about today has to do with, in a way, a more robust local economy where people and local people will benefit more with food security, with jobs. And I don't think blue carbon necessarily is geared to that, right? And so it will be part of a solution, but I think it's great that we're focusing on more real sort of economic activities that are definitely going to work better in the long term as well.
Okay, thank you, Pa Alejandro. I think our time is already limited. So may I wrapping point all the discussion today? The first thing, rehabilitation mangrove ecosystem should be involving the community development to make an ideal collaboration. So we have to hand in hand together. And the second is the economic enhance in a community. It's important for direct and indirectly beneficiaries. And the third is to build an effective mangrove protection should be have multi-partnership engaged, a collaboration and supported by the policy from the government. And dear ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to all speakers for their insightful presentation on the vital role of mangrove in our lives and the exciting opportunities in the green business of mangrove restoration. Thank you to all speakers. All the clarity and passion for the cause are truly very, very inspiring. As they mentioned, Kadin invites each one of us to join hands and collaborate in the noble mission of protecting mangrove and fostering a sustainable green business. Let's embrace this call to action and make a positive impact together. Let's do save our environmental through do small things for the big impact. We express our deepest thanks to all parties who took part in this session. Thank you for all speakers and audience, even in link streamline. Have a good day for today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.